we're just gonna make some stuff today.
Today we're going to be doing some dehydrating our tomatoes, peppers, and some garlic, and we are going to be making our own seasoning with that. And we're also going to be dehydrating some more of my zucchini to make some tajin chips. We're going to experiment with some all-purpose cookie mix and make some chocolate chip cookies and peanut butter cookies. Then we're going to make some vanilla extract, show you how my container garden is doing, and also have some sad news about our beloved bunny, Strawberry. Hello and welcome to Richmond's Place. If you're new here, my name is Rebecca. So glad you're here. Now, this is the honey garlic that we made in the last video, and I just thought I would show you guys how it's looking after the first week. And most of the garlic is starting to sink, and all I'm doing is giving it a good stir every day for probably about another week, and then I'm gonna store it in my cupboard where it's nice and dark. The price for vanilla extract today in Michigan is $7.99 for 2 ounces. That's insane. So today we're gonna make our own. Now, I got 50 of these organic Madagascar grade A vanilla beans from Amazon, and it wasn't cheap. It was $37.99 for a pack of 50. And then I bought 2 of these 1.75 liters of 80 proof vodka. If you're doing this, make sure you get 80 proof. Now, this seems like a lot of money to make your own vanilla extract, but if you buy vanilla extract all the time like we do, it adds up. I mean, we're buying like a 2-ounce bottle like once a week. So yeah, our savings came to around 400 some odd dollars, I believe, when we were adding it up, how much money we were going to save. And that's that's crazy. So all I'm doing here is just splitting the vanilla bean in half down the middle, almost all the way, but not completely. And then I'm just going to drop it straight in. Now I'm using 25 vanilla beans per 1.75 liters of 80 proof vodka. But if you just wanted to make like a pint of your own vanilla extract, that would be a lot cheaper, and all it would take is 5 vanilla bean pods per pint. But because I bake a lot and I also use a lot of my vanilla extract for Matthew's cold coffee that I make for him homemade, I use a lot. So that's why I'm going for the gallon of vanilla extract. This is how it's looking already after just 1 week. Now, it's recommended that you wait at least 8 weeks before using this, and then for optimum flavor, it says wait till 6 months. I can't wait to use it, and I'm going to let you know how it turns out. Another tip I was going to share with everyone is that I've been using my dehydrator to incubate my yogurt at like the lowest setting for about 9 hours. And it works a lot better than me setting it in the oven with the light on or trying to find a warm spot for it. It's perfect. This is the second year that I have made my own seasoning salt with my homegrown peppers and tomatoes and garlic, and the taste is just fantastic. So I thought I would share with you guys how I do that. Okay, so I'm just gonna run you through it. I'm gonna dehydrate some of my cherry tomatoes, several different kinds of peppers. We got some, I think that this is an Anaheim, I'm not sure, but we're gonna do some bells, some Anaheims, some banana peppers. We're gonna get them all mixed up. Then we're gonna put some garlic, and I think I'm gonna do maybe some basil or oregano, because I do have a lot of basil out there that I have to preserve too. So yeah, today is just a
a hodgepodge of things. I'm gonna be making some, or dehydrating some of my produce to make some seasoning salts, and then we're gonna make some shelf-stable, some all-purpose cookie mix. It's a basic cookie mix, and you can just add whatever you want to it, like chocolate chips, raisins, peanut butter chips, whatever you want. This recipe that I'm going to be doing will last weeks, several weeks in your pantry, on your pantry shelf. Leave it on your pantry shelf. On your pantry shelf. Plus, I'm going to be trying out this mix today. I'll be making up some cookies, some probably some of the, I'm not sure. We're just gonna make some stuff today. So because I'm dehydrating these peppers, I'm not going to do a whole lot special to these. I'm just going to chop them just so that they can fit. Okay, so one of the reasons why I'm trying to preserve a lot of my garlic right now is a lot of the garlic is not storing very well. I've already found like 3 or 4 garlic heads that have already started to mold. I'm not sure why. So we're gonna try to get all of these preserved, with the exception of the ones that look like they're doing okay. But there's a lot of things you can make with garlic. We're gonna dehydrate some of these, and we're gonna make it into like a garlic powder, not just for me to use garlic powder, because I've done this before, but I want to mix some of my homegrown garlic powder in to make our own spices this year. We'll see how it turns out. I did hear somebody talk about there was a trick if you put your garlic cloves into warm water for a few minutes, they'll be easier to peel. The peels supposedly come right off. So I'm gonna try that and see what happens. This is where it's starting to mold, and a lot of them are starting to mold from the inside. This is the first one that's like started on the outside here. Oh, found another bad one here. See how this one's starting to go bad? I'm getting a lot of these. I mean, yeah, I can cut this off, cut the bad part off, which I will do, but this is why I need to preserve all my garlic right now. Yeah, I guess it's a little bit easier to peel. I don't know, peeling garlic is just a very tedious task, in my opinion. Yeah. I'm gonna let it soak for a little while longer. I wasn't expecting to do a harvest, but look what I got. Ooh. See, these are the cocoa zells that I've been telling you guys about that I grew for the first time. These are small because there was like 10 of them on there. This plant is very resilient to disease, or resistant to disease, and it's just pumping them out. I took some baby ones off because I haven't tried them like this small yet. I've waited for them to get like triple that size. But yeah, look at that. Ooh. All those beans. I'm gonna be canning up some beans. I'm so excited. I'm always excited when my garden gives me something. Anyways, now another thing. This is fresh okra. This is what fresh okra looks like. Like that. I'll show you what the inside looks like. See, it's kind of got that mucilage in there. Some people can't get over the mucilage, but
It's crunchy. It's so good. I can't do canned or like the store-bought canned okra is disgusting. But this stuff, so good. So those zucchini chips that I made with you guys the last time, they were so good. I'm gonna make some more. First, I want to try one of these. They're a lot crunchier than the bigger ones, but the taste is the same. They're just more dense. I'm gonna use some lime with some, what do you call this, tajin, and let this chill out for a while with some avocado oil and some salt. Oh yeah, this is gonna be good. So that was 1 lime, and I'll go with half of a cup of some lime juice. We'll go with a tablespoon of the tajin. We do have quite a bit of zucchini, maximum flavor. And we'll do a tablespoon of some avocado oil. We'll give all this a quick, dang it, my battery shut off. Hopefully I got most of it. So I put the tajin in the oil, 1 lime and a half a cup of lime juice in here, and I'm gonna let this marinate for, I don't know, probably like a half an hour or so, and just stir it like every maybe 15 minutes so everything stays in the marinade, gets well coated.
While that is dehydrating, we are going to wash up some of our basil and lay them out to dry so we can get this hung up as well. Okay, so now let's get on with our cookie experiment and trying to make like a cooking mix that will be shelf stable. This recipe came from a Deseret cookbook, and I will leave the original recipe in the description box below, but I will also leave the recipe that I'm using in the description box below as well, because I am using some coconut oil in place of the vegetable shortening, because we don't use vegetable shortening. So I try to always find some different alternative when recipes call for that. This recipe says to stir then sift together 2 times the dry ingredients, which I'm using 4.5 cups of all-purpose flour, 1.5 cups of dry skim milk powdered, and 1.5 tablespoons of baking powder with 1/2 tablespoon of salt.
Okay, so this is not the exact recipe that's in the book, but I will link it for everybody if they want the original recipe. I'm using bread flour instead of all-purpose flour, and I'm also using coconut oil instead of vegetable shortening, because I don't use shortening, so that's what we're using. Okay, so I'm just gonna drop this. It says, the directions say to cream the sugar and the shortening together first. So this is what we're doing. I'm just gonna pop it in here. So this is almost equivalent to about 2, this is a 15-ounce jar. So hopefully this will be enough. Now we're gonna add our sugar. There's 1 and 2. Now if you don't have an electric mixer like this, you can use your spoon, you can use a fork. Oops. You can use a regular hand mixer, whatever you have. Now it just says add your dry ingredients slowly. And it says it's supposed to have like a cornmeal consistency. So that's what we're going for. This is what it's looking like right now. I think this might be easier, would probably be a lot easier with a hand mixer. Yep, hand mixer next time. I'm gonna finish this by hand because this is how, got too much in there. That's okay. This is a pastry cutter, if you didn't know what one was. It's pretty crumbly. That's what it says it's supposed to look like, so we're on the right track. Kind of reminds me of that play sand type consistency. Okay, now it's time to experiment. So I'm going to put 2 cups, this is a ½ cup measure, of cookie mix in here because we're going to make some chocolate chip cookies out of this. See how well it will make chocolate chip cookies, I should say. The book don't have a chocolate chip recipe, which I thought was kind of weird, but it is what it is. I want a chocolate chip recipe, so we're going to use 2 cups of the mix and thinking some vanilla. See how many chocolate chips we got. And brown sugar. Yeah, we should probably put brown sugar in there. Of course I need to make more brown sugar. Looks like, I don't know how many cups I got here. So I'm going to add some brown sugar to this mix. Dark brown sugar. I'm going to put, I'd say it's about a ½ cup brown sugar. Packed brown sugar. There we go. On the list to make. Brown sugar. Make that today so I don't forget. And so we're gonna cream that together with an egg. We'll put bring it back over here so you guys can see what I'm doing. There we go. You guys see? I think you can see. Maybe. There we go. So I'm gonna put about a teaspoon of vanilla in here, and we're gonna add 1 egg. Okay, I'm gonna give this a quick mix together, cream it all together here, and then we'll add our chocolate chips. I'm gonna start with a ½ cup of chocolate chips. It smells so good. think it needs another half cup. We're gonna do a full cup of chocolate chips. Using these. Okay. Full cup. Okay, and I'm just gonna, not gonna grease it or nothing. I'm just gonna, hopefully I don't have to. Just gonna grab a spoon, drop it by like spoonfuls. I almost want to roll this. I wonder if these would freeze well. I want to see how they spread before I make the whole thing. Experiment time. So we'll make 4. I'm gonna flatten out 2 and then leave 2 round, and we'll see how they turn out. All right, I'll be back. I'll give it about 10 minutes. Okay, while I'm waiting for that, I think I'm gonna go ahead and tie up my basil so that I can hang it to dry with this twine right here. And now I'm just gonna hang it somewhere so it can dry. There we go. Beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna put the rest of my cookie dough starter, whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna put that in an airtight container so it don't dry out. Now this, the book says that it will last for weeks in your cupboard without refrigeration. I don't know. I don't think that it would even last that long in my cupboard anyway. I have big plans for this cookie dough. Big plans. Okay, so obviously I gotta flatten them out. So, let me show you. These are the ones that I flattened. These are the ones that I did not flatten. They didn't spread like I thought they were going to, so this is what they're looking like. They're still kind of hot yet. Let's taste them. Very good. I think I would add some nuts. They're very good. Alright, so I cooked these for 10 minutes at 350 degrees. And they're not hard, they're a soft cookie. I'm trying to think of what I would add to it. I mean, they taste good. I'd probably add a little bit more vanilla. Probably a little bit more sugar, but white sugar. I don't know. They are good. So now, I got my homemade peanut butter here. We're gonna make some peanut butter ones with the same cookie dough. Just gonna add, see how much peanut butter is in here. Looks like about a cup. No, half a cup. It's about a half a cup of peanut butter. We're gonna do basically the same thing, except for we're adding peanut butter to this. So about a teaspoon, and teaspoon of vanilla extract. Put 1 egg in. Well, I'd say that was, yeah, about 1/4 of a cup of brown sugar. I'm gonna cream the, there we go, the brown sugar, peanut butter, and egg together before I add the cookie mix. Okay, I'm gonna add my 2 cups of cookie mix. I'm guessing you gotta pack it? Just guessing. I'm gonna add some water. I'm gonna start off with a tablespoon. Scrape down the sides and see if we're ready yet. Yeah, I think we're ready. This is the consistency, kind of like the chocolate chip cookie dough, but a little bit more. This one holds together better. I'm guessing because of the peanut butter. Okay, I just need you to move back just a little bit too close there. Okay, so let's get our peanut butter cookies going. Okay, I think I cooked these ones too long. I turned up the oven to 375. I shouldn't have done that because, I mean, it got a little too crispy. Well, let's try them. I got another batch in there right now. I mean, this is the, I mean, they're not too bad, but they are crunchy. The flavor is really good. I just wouldn't cook these as long and not at that high of a temperature. These are a lot smaller than I had anticipated. Maybe I should have cut them up a bit bigger. These are crazy good. I hope I get a whole lot more zucchini. If not, I'll have to buy some. Okay, so I figured I'd show you guys one more thing of me making the salts. And I'm using, it's called a KYG mini grinder. It's my coffee grinder. We're gonna use this. I'm just gonna get a jar. And I'm gonna start blending all my peppers, get my peppers down into a powder, and my garlic, and some of my tomatoes. Make our own seasonings. This is the peppers. Now we're gonna do the tomato. And this is what the tomato powder is looking like. Okay. Smells amazing. Now the garlic. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a little bit of salt in here. That's what it looks like. It smells so good. And then I'm gonna just use it as like an all-purpose seasoning. You could put as many herbs or as little herbs as you want. I think that I may end up putting maybe a little bit of my basil salt in here. That'd probably be good too. It's good to experiment. I'm gonna give it a taste and see what it tastes like. You just taste it all. You can taste the pepper, you can taste the tomato, you can taste the garlic, and the salt. You can taste all three, but it's like it's got a sweetness to it, but there's no sugar in here or anything like that. And you can taste the salt that I put in there too. It's delicious. So I only used like a handful of that garlic that I put on these trays. So with the rest of this, I'm just gonna make some garlic powder. That way I have extra. And yeah, I won't make you guys hang around and watch that though. You could make your own garlic salt too with, instead of making just garlic powder, make some garlic salt. It is the middle of September and my container garden is starting to slow down a bit in production, but I'm still getting a lot of peppers coming on, and that's in my greenstalk. This is the first year that I have grown peppers in this greenstalk and it's doing very, very well. I think that I will, continue to grow peppers, and especially the green stalks, because for some reason they really flourish. They're putting on new blooms, and I'll probably get one more succession of peppers out of these before it gets too cold, which is pretty exciting. I also grew some oregano in this green stalk this year, and it seemed to do pretty well. But my green beans over here, they really, steal the show with how much they produced in this tiny little 18-gallon tote. I've gotten about 5 gallons worth of beans so far, and they're still putting on it. The more you pick, the more that they will come on. So I'll probably get, at least 2 or 3 more successions out of these. These are the last 2 zucchini that I think I'm going to just go ahead and pull it, because it's getting a lot of powdery mildew on there that I had to clip off. And these are the sweet potato vines that I haven't pulled to see if there's any sweet potatoes in there yet, but I'll be pulling those as soon as it gets when we get our first frost. But I'm still getting peppers in this other small tote as well. These are the pepperoncini peppers. They did pretty well in this tote too. I had 6 peppers in this tote with kale mixed in with it, and it did pretty well. It's starting to put on more blooms. So last week we had an unexpected passing of our female mini lop rabbit. Her name was Strawberry. It was a big surprise. She had birthing complications, and I don't know, it was very sad. She never showed any sign of discomfort or anything like that. I just came in and found her. She wasn't moving, so yeah, it was very sad. Ethan
misses her terribly, and we are thinking about possibly getting him a new mate, but we're not sure yet. So I'm taking out their bunny house, and right now, because he's alone and I didn't want him in the coop by himself, I figured I'd just take him out and let him, you know, be out in nature for a while until we figure out if we're going to get him another mate or not. I don't know, because mini lops are social bunnies, and most rabbits are. So I don't know how well he's going to do alone this winter by himself. That's one of the reasons why I was thinking about getting a companion for him. So we're not sure what we're going to do yet, but either way, we'll try to keep him happy, keep him entertained, keep him busy. Plus, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. We would greatly appreciate it.